First, you're going to start by rolling your fruit just to loosen up all the juice. You're going to cut it in half. I can't find my citrus juicer, so I will be just squeezing them with my good old bare hands. And what's fun about this is I can let the kids roll the other fruit while I am squeezing them. So it makes them feel like they're helping because I'm not giving them that knife and I'm not letting them use their dirty hands to squeeze the juice out. So after you squeeze, I did 4 oranges. You're going to strain it. I usually would use cheesecloth, but don't have any, so I just use the regular strainer just to get the pulp out. Then you're going to take a teaspoon of lemon juice to 4 oranges. So if you did more, you would do more lemon juice. Next, I'm going to take my agave. You can use honey, you can use sugar, you can use sativa, you can use whatever. And sweeten to your liking. I do 4 tablespoons because I kind of like it kind of sweet, and my kids, they won't eat them if they're not sweet. So next, you're going to add your orange mixture to your pot. Then I'm going to add just a teaspoon of emergency. You can use citric acid, you can use whatever, but I add just a little bit of extra vitamin C for my kids, especially during this time. And you're going to mix all that in. Sometimes that has a tendency to clump, so you want to mix it until it's not clumped anymore. Next, you're going to add in your gelatin. I'm using a beef gelatin. You can use whatever type of gelatin you want. So I did 3 tablespoons. Now, this next step is super important, okay? I'm going to time lapse it so you can see. You're going to let that sit and do its thing for about 3 to 4 minutes. As you can see, it's like sinking in there. You're going to let it kind of, do its thing and kind of curate in there. So you want to leave it. Don't mix it. Don't do anything to it. Okay, so once it has been sitting for about 3 to 4 minutes, you're going to add it to your heat. Now, these next instructions are very important. You're going to mix it. It's going to bubble up and look really foamy. You want to make sure your heat is on high, okay? You're making candy. You want to get it to a very high heat. So after you mix it all up, you're going to get it to a very high heat. Now, it's going to boil. You want to mix it maybe every 30 seconds just to make sure it's not sticking. But once it starts to seem like the bubbles are, going away, that's how you know it's hot enough. Now, you're going to see this foam stuff starting to form around the edges. Just take a spoon and kind of scrape that off. So you're just going to let it boil, let it caramelize. Now, once it starts to bubble and most of the bubbles go away, you're going to take it off slowly. After you've taken it off, here comes the fun part. Putting them in all the little molds. This is the part where you can have the kids help you. Your kids need to be at least 3 years old because they're going to be using a dropper with very hot liquid. So I hand it to each of my kids. Of course, I'm watching them because this is hot. And they can use a little dropper and they drop it in there. It just makes them feel like that they are doing something, makes them feel like that they made the gummies, even though all they did was drop it in the little dropper. Now, my son burnt the crap out of my hand because he squeezed the dropper. This was my point, guys. You have to watch your kids. He's 3. He didn't understand how hard he was pushing it, and it flew across and burnt the crap out of my hand. But I'm okay, and I finished them. Okay, after you drop them all in, you're going to leave them on the counter for about 5 to 10 minutes. Then you're gonna put them in the fridge. They usually firm up in about 30 minutes to an hour. I left mine in for a few hours because my kids were napping. They pop out pretty easy, so you're just gonna pop them out just like that, and this is how they look. The orange ones are probably my favorite, simply because they're full of vitamin C, and as you can see, my kids love them. It's a great small little snack for them that isn't full of all those preservatives.